Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Oh my gosh, y'all shouldn't have ever gave me a mic. You will not be able to get rid of me now. Looking back at my video that was, I don't even know how many years ago that I posted. It's crazy that this is my first video posting on this page again, because thinking back to the spirit of that video and the spirit of the message of that video was relating to feeling more than one emotion at a time, which feels so relevant for what I want to talk about today. I will admit that lately, in the last few weeks, I have felt feelings of anxiety and stress, and I was really unsure of why. It's so amazing the way that time passes and the way that things pass. Because in my mind, I'm like, regular things that I've been doing are now making me anxious. And it wasn't until I sat and really thought, like, actually, nothing's the same. Nothing of what I'm doing is the same. Nowhere that I'm at is the same. The people that I'm around are not the same, but specifically for the things that were making me anxious, very much not the same as they were before. And once I realized, like, I am taking on more, I'm having more responsibility, it became clear to me, like, I'm not anxious. I'm not just an anxious person who needs to be on meds and needs to go to therapy and honestly just has anxiety for no reason. It's just an anxious person. I was overwhelmed. Follow me. Walk with me down this path. And so it dawned on me when I really sat and thought about what it meant to be overwhelmed, right? And I was listening to someone and they said, if you're feeling uncomfortable, if you're doing something specifically or in a role specifically that's making you feel uncomfortable or feel imposter syndrome, that just means that you are growing faster than your comfort zone. So I just want to put that out there. But where this landed me at was realizing that this discomfort had to do with expansion. And this may not feel like a revelation for you all like it was for me, but I'm hoping that for someone, you're realizing that you're not just crumbling. You're not weak. You're not, feeling these things because you're incapable. If you really sit to have that moment to see where you are now versus where you were before and literally look at what you're doing now versus what you were doing before, you'll realize that there is an expansion that needs to happen, and it's not comfortable. It feels like this. At first, when I thought it was just anxiety and me not being able to properly cope with life, it did feel like very helpless and very much like, well, what am I supposed to do with what do you do with that, right? And once I identified it as I'm overwhelmed because I'm doing more, because I'm taking on more, because I ultimately am doing more, then it allowed me to kind of see the discomfort for what it was, which is growing pains, which comes along with expansion. When I think of wanting to be someone who makes more passive income, someone who has a greater impact to those around me, someone who is more productive, does more, gives more, I don't think that we take into account what it will feel like to become those things. When I was first learning to day trade, I remember, I was spending time on the weekends, right, when I was free, because I work a full-time job, and trying to work out and trying to not eat out every day and trying to just have a life, a social life, whatever. It did fit into my schedule to carve out time on Saturdays, Sundays, and I would get through the day trading course. But when it came time to actually day trade, I found myself at a point saying, okay, if I want to be a good day trader or a developing and expanding day trader, I can't just be doing classes on the weekend. I need to be looking at the market the night before, really, of every day. I need to get up at around 7:15 every morning to do pre-market analysis around 7:30. The market opens at 8:30. I need to have my options ready. I need to know what the market's looking like. I need to be able to trade, but also be able to start work at the time that I'm supposed to start work. I need to be able to set alerts so that I'm not looking at charts throughout the day while I'm working. And I needed to go to post-market analysis after work for me. So literally not clock out, but finish work at 5, post-market analysis at 5. I needed to then spend at least an hour a day learning the trade. And so I say all of that to say, I found myself at a point where there was a decision to be made. On one hand, I was fully aware of the fact that I'm working a 9 to 5 job. Like I said, trying to have a normal social life, trying to work out, trying to do all these things, adding on a whole extra, skill, a whole extra associate's degree, essentially, trying to learn to day trade is too much. And that's valid, right? Like, for me to end it right there is completely valid. It's too much, especially for who I am and what I am right now, what I know right now. But there was also a very valid path and other side that said, well, who I am now has one stream of income. That person, as a day trader, who I want to be, the person who I want to be, has multiple streams of income, has full financial freedom, has discipline. And that's also very valid, right? To want to grow and to want to be that better person. But it became clear to me that the person I am now is not the same version of the person who would be doing that. And the bridge between that is expansion. I told y'all, walk with me. We're going to get there. Out of expansion comes capacity, increased capacity. Right now, we have a certain capacity for what we can give out, what we can take in, what we can produce. We have our certain capacity, and the way to grow that capacity is to expand. This goes for any scenario that we may find ourselves in. I mean, whether that's you wanting to work out, but you work, right? You can say, I work all day. I don't want to work out. I'm tired. I have kids. I have to whatever, right? And the thing is, all things are possible. And truly, that is why we can look at Beyonce and say, damn, she really has the same 24 hours as us. She really does. Because even though we can have give full permission to ourselves to remain the way that we are and say, I just don't have the capacity to work out after work. I don't have the capacity to work, get my kids and work out. I don't have the capacity to work, day trade, learn day trading. I don't have the capacity to make videos. We can acknowledge that we don't have that capacity currently, and we will be completely right. And please let me be clear. This is not a message from me saying that you should expand capacity to do more. I'm not saying that I think that we should be working our full 40 hours a week, but making it 50 hours a week and then working ourselves to the bone. That is not at all what I'm saying. As someone who truly believes that we should just be working enough to keep humanity alive and well, and then living and loving for the rest of our day, that is not what I'm saying. I'm not saying work more. But instead, this is an offering for you to see expanding your capacity as the path to ultimate transformation and your higher self. An acknowledgement that that path is not comfortable. It's the way that a butterfly probably feels coming out of a cocoon. It's outgrowing our shoes. It's literally growing out of who we are now. And even though I'm still uncomfortable, knowing that there's a reason for the discomfort makes it so much more fruitful and bearable. Honestly, just straight up bearable to me. It gives me vision and focus for where we're going. What was uncomfortable to me before, what was outside of my capacity before, is a part of who I am now. It's a daily part of who I am now. It's not only something that I can do, but I'm good at. And then I progress beyond that. So, if I leave you all with anything today, for one, expansion is uncomfortable. And it feels like anxiety. It feels like wanting to run. Do you know how, like, when I think of how many times there were things I wanted to run from and I knew I couldn't run from it. And so I had to go through it. And then going through it allowed me to see, oh, I survived. Do you know how much that opens up your world? To think that the thing that was going to take you out didn't. I'm going to start making note of how I feel right now. There are things in my job, there are things in life that right now I will write down to look back on in 6 months, the things that are worrying me, the things that I'm like, specifically, I would like to talk about the things that I see as outside of my capacity. And I want to see in 6 months how I feel and how I feel about those things. So that's all that I wanted to share with you all. Thank you for spending this time with me, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.